All right, morning. So we're back at it again. We have to get the varnished fuel out of the fuel tank. When you're getting ready to extract fuel out of the fuel tank, there's a couple different ways of doing it, but we definitely want the tank higher than whatever receptacle that we're getting ready to put the varnished fuel in. One way of doing it is using a mechanical style shaker like the one I have here in my hand. You take the rattler portion of it, you stick it in the fuel tank, and you move it up and down and rattle away until eventually you get fuel flow, and then gravity takes care of the rest. Okay, the other way of doing it, and you'll see I have an old electronic fuel pump here. This one was not flowing as efficiently as it should for the vehicle to run properly, but there was still some life in it, so that way I could hook up a couple of wires and we could still use it as an extractor. And away she goes. All right, well, we are all done extracting, for the most part, all of the varnished fuel out of the tank. Now, what I can do, what most would do, is just install the pump, put it all back together, and then pour the fuel in afterwards. Since I removed about 13 or 14 gallons of fuel, look, I'm just gonna dump my fuel in, okay? I've already got full access right now, and I only picked up like 3 gallons, so this isn't gonna do hardly nothing, but it'll at least get it started. Okay, I don't know. All right, we're making progress today. So the fuel pump's in, varnish fuel's out, fresh fuel's in. We want to go ahead and change the coolant too. Again, this vehicle has been sitting for a while. We've already gone the mile with changing out the engine oil and the transmission fluid. We can most certainly change out the coolant and even give the power steering a good suck and feel and get all the old stuff out, right? Get stuff moving around, some fresh lubricants. Guess it wasn't in place. I knew it was all, I knew I took all the screws out, but I was like, oh cool, it's gonna hold itself there for me for a minute. It did not. All right, just to catch everyone up to speed with what it is that we did last video and what we've done here so far today. Yesterday or last video, we put a drive belt on. We drained the oil, changed out the oil filter, drained the transmission, got an idea of what was in the bottom of the pan. Looks like we're gonna be okay. Changed the filter on it, put a new gasket on, cleaned up the pan, dropped the fuel tank, got rid of the old varnished fuel, put a new fuel pump in, new fuel filter, and we did get a chance to pull a plug. And pulling the plug, I see that they're not only old, but they're also not the ones that I would run, so we'll look to change those later. Now we're gonna go ahead and start putting our, and we drained the coolant, and we've drained the coolant. I'm gonna top off the power steering and cap it. I'm gonna change the battery out, and we're gonna fire this thing up and see how she runs and sounds. This one you want to pour slow so you don't accidentally overfill the dipstick tube, okay? Because we're going through a small area, so we're just going to pour it in nice and slowly. All right, well, I don't have a 36R on hand, but I do have a 24R. And we should be able to at least start the car with that. There we go. Very good, very good. Okay. Well, that's pretty dang close, I tell ya. It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! Okay, I know, I'm being goofy. But look, it runs. All right, hopefully we can keep her running. I know it says low fuel, I know it says low coolant. Don't die, baby, don't die. Come on. I hear a vacuum leak. I can find it. Eesh. Very, very weak on charge, man. This thing got a little problem there. It's jumping between 12.9 and 13.5, and it's going up and down and up and down, so it's not sure what to think at this point. We know it runs. We know it's got an idle problem. Like I said, I suspect an intake leak. I'm not sure that this EGR valve is working correctly. We know that the alternator is not charging the way it should be. We know we got a bad mount we know we need to change out the plugs. We know there might be an issue with the electronic coolant level sensor because it's telling me that the coolant level is low. We're not overheating. Been running it now for about 20 minutes or so. We're operating temperature, fans kicked on, so it appeared that everything within the cooling system, for the exception of that, is fine. But again, with as much rodent pee and feces, I would not be surprised if underneath this, where the level sensor is, if the wires weren't chewed to it. She still needs some work, but we got it running, so that's good. At this point, there's really not too much I can do today. I'll throw the tire back on and then I'm gonna call it, you know, try to enjoy part of my weekend anyways. But at least this gets us some better warm and fuzzy of what's going on. We can at least get it back to the house if we wanted to. You know, we know what we got looking forward to. I'll make some annotations and some notes. Overall, there's just not really a whole bunch to do to make this a solid running, driving A to B car, especially for teenagers first. So overall, I'm excited about it, okay? There's work to be done, but once the work is done, she should get at least 100 or 200K out of this thing easily. I mean, we're only sitting at 98,000 miles. If we can clean some things up and get her back to fully functioning and reliable transportation, there's no reason why these 3-liter engines, look, I actually like the Ford 3 liters, okay? I have one of my Mariner. You know, I don't really get too many of them coming into the shop. And usually when they do, I think I've done like 2 head gaskets on them in total. I think that's pretty much all that I've done outside of a fuel pump and maybe a battery or something, right? So I haven't had to replace an entire engine on these things. I don't even think I've had, well, I might have replaced one transmission on something like a Taurus or something like that, but really not too incredibly difficult to work on and extremely reliable out of most of the Ford products, if I must say so myself. So I'm excited. I hope she's excited. Lucky for me, I still have some time and she doesn't quite have her license just yet. It's getting warm in here though. I don't know what time it is, probably, if I had to guess, 11, almost 12 o'clock now. So I'm gonna go ahead and tidy some things up, make some notes, maybe throw the tire back on. And then we're gonna go ahead and kick rocks for now. So thanks as always for watching. I hope you enjoyed this second installment of Fix Her Ride. And I look forward to the next portion. We'll just see where we're at here by maybe next weekend or the weekend after, you know. My goal is to not try to, I'm not trying to blast through and repair every single thing wrong with it all in one shot. But if I can do so over the next 2 or 3 months, make mental notes, replace things as I can afford to, there's no reason that maybe by Christmas we couldn't have this thing fully capable of making it all the way across country, which is the goal. Guys, I hope you enjoyed today's content. If you did, smash the thumbs up button. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe. Let me know down in the comments if you like this series so far and the direction that it's going, and if you're looking forward to the next installment. Thanks as always for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers and deuces.